Hi, welcome to Nomis Academy. Today, the topic we are going to consider is factorization of quadratic expression of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. First and foremost, you would like to know what a quadratic expression is. The product of two linear factors or linear expression is a quadratic expression. Now, x plus 2 is a linear expression or a linear factor. The product of two linear factors like this, x plus 3, will give us a quadratic expression. Now, when we expand this, the result will be a quadratic expression. The reason why we call this a linear expression is because the highest power of x is 1. The highest power of x here is 1. The product will give us a quadratic expression. Now, let's do the multiplication. X times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 3 is 6. Then finally we have x squared. 3x plus 2x is 5x plus 6. Here we have the result, which is a quadratic expression because the highest power of the unknown variable x is 2, and that's the reason why we call it a quadratic expression. Now we are going to learn how to factorize quadratic expression of the form. You can see that what we have are the positive sign. So quadratic expression of the form. So the first example we are going to be solving is this. Remember, the product of these two linear factors is what gives us this. Now, what does it mean to factorize a quadratic expression? It means we are only trying to express a quadratic expression as the product of two linear factors. So we are going to be expressing this as the product of these two factors. Now, let's pick this as our first example. Number 1, x squared plus 5x plus 6. We want to learn how to factorize this quadratic expression. Remember, I said the result is going to be a product of two linear factors. Now let's start. The first step to take is to multiply the first and last term. I will use this diagram so you can easily remember. The first term multiplied by the last term, and that will give us 6x squared. And then we are going to find the factors of 6x squared that sum up to 5x. The factors of 6x squared that sum up to 5x. So let's do that. 6x squared. The possible factors we have are 6x and x. 6x times x will give us what? 6x squared. The sum, 6x plus x, is what? 7x. This is different from what we have here. So we go further to check for other factors. Other factors of 6x squared is 3x and 2x. 3x and 2x. 3 times 2 is 6. X times x is x squared. Now the sum, 3x plus 2x is what? 5x. And that is what we have here. So we are going to be using 3x and 2x as the factors of 6x squared that sum up to 5x. So we use the diagram again. Our factors are 3x and 2x. So I'm going to write 3x and 2x in the middle term of the quadratic expression. So I have x squared plus, instead of writing 5x, I'm going to write 3x and 2x. So I have 3x plus 2x and plus the last term 6. Then I'm going to pick the first two and then I'm going to factorize the first two. You look for what is common between the two terms. X squared plus 3x. What is common? You can see x is common. So you pick out x and enclose the rest in a bracket. That is how to factorize. You pick out what is common between the two terms. So in these two terms, x is common. So when I pick out one x from this, what is left? X is left. Plus, when I pick out x from 3x, what is left? 3 is left. Then I go to the other terms, the 2x plus 6. What is common between them? You can see, we can get 2 here, and we can also divide with 2 here also. So we can factorize 2 to write plus 2 and enclose the remaining in the bracket. What is left when I pick out 2 from here? X is left. Plus, when I pick out 2 from 6, what is left? 3 is left. Meaning 2 times 3 will give me 6. Alright. Now, pick out what is common from here and there. What can you see that is common? X plus 3 is common. So we pick x plus 3. And then what do we have outside? We have x plus 2. So you can see this is the end of our solution. At the end of the day, we are able to prove that the solution of this quadratic expression is a product of two linear factors. What we have here is a linear factor, and what we also have here is a linear factors. When you multiply both together, you get a quadratic equation. Can I do one more example and then we'll leave this topic? Number 2, we have x squared plus 9x plus 14. Alright, now let's factorize this quadratic expression. Do the same thing. Multiply the first and the last term, and that will be what? 14x squared. Now you look for factors of 14x squared that sum up to 9x. And what are those factors? I know by now you know the answer. Quickly, I think what should be in your mind now is 7x and 2x. Isn't it? 7x times 2x will give you 14x squared. 7x plus 2x will give you what? 9x. Now you are going to write 7x and 2x in the middle term. And that will be x squared plus 7x plus 2x plus 14. Now you do the same thing. You pick the first two terms and look for what is common between them. What is common between these two terms? X is common. So you write x outside and then close the rest in a bracket. When I pick out x from this, what is left? X is left. Plus, when I pick out x from this, what is remaining? 7 is remaining. Then in the other two terms, what is common? You can see I can get 2 here, and I can also get 2 here. 14 divided by 2 will give me 7. So picking out 2 plus 2 and then closing the rest in the bracket. This is x plus 7. Now you can see that these two linear factors are the same. So we can now pick one as a matter of, or as a way of factorizing. We pick out the common factor, which is x plus 7. And then what do we have outside? We have x plus 2. X plus 7 and x plus 2. These are the product of two linear factors. So the solution of this quadratic expression is the product of these two linear factors. I hope you understand that. Alright, I'm going to drop one problem for you to solve, and then I would like to get the feedback from you. Thank you. Now solve this for me. X squared plus 2x plus 1. You will solve this and then you will give me your feedback. Thank you.